We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. Oh my God, what happened? The market went down. I thought it only went up. Okay, market's going down. Pause that refreshes. Interesting geopolitical news. Also, rumors Uncle Sugar is going to sell. How nice. Any selling that comes in from a sovereign so far has been immediately absorbed. Leveraged players have more than likely been piling into the made in America cryptos, XRP, Cardano, Hedera, Algorand. So when you have 50 and 100x leverage, and then say you have a weird announcement like South Korea declaring martial law, as just an example, that actually did happen, right? And this idea of the U.S. selling Bitcoin or crypto, then you can have a flash event. So everyone comes in, welcome. The market flash crashes, and everybody who is here goes, oh my God. Flash events are just that, flash events. They happen over a 1, 2, or 3 day period. And we may be in a situation where the bid shifts from altcoins to Bitcoin once Uncle Sugar is done doing whatever it's going to do. My understanding is that they're going to sell Bitcoin almost out of spite. They may also be selling Bitcoin because this is getting embarrassing for world governments, because as I've said repeatedly in the Why Are We Here section of this stream, that, fiat is falling and digital currencies and digital assets are rising, and we're participating in a fiat devaluation, which is probably getting embarrassing at this point. Now, the next administration isn't going to care about that yet. But now we're also seeing something this morning that is very relevant, in that real world assets exploded. Rari, an NFT project that this group liked, exploded. Now, back to real world assets. Ondo, everyone was afraid of a token unlock, so nobody bought it for months, and then all of a sudden it just went. There's some key lessons there. One, if you've done your research, you bought a project, you still like the project, don't give up on it just because it's not going up that day. This is a decoupling, meaning, Bitcoin decouples from stocks, and a decoupling market where altcoins decouple from Bitcoin, meaning they can do their own thing. This comes from sector analyst Toby Ward. I did not invent that, but that is what's happening. And in order for you to benefit from this alt season, you either got to have a couple coins in each sector, or if you're a fast money type of person, you got to be able to move from one place to the other. You got to be able to sell what's outperforming, which at the time was XRP, maybe, or Bitcoin, or Solana, and then move into stuff that was underperforming, which this morning was real world assets, and it just all took off. Then the market turns around and corrects. This is also, a public service announcement that bull markets are not easy. So you're new, you're here. You just got here. I saw the announcement and a whole bunch of people joined in, right? Everyone's looking in the Discord. Welcome. The most important thing to do at this point is not buy into the FOMO. Like, don't just buy something because it's going up. There are some coins that are mega momentum coins. I think Algorand, Hedera, and once they do the leverage washout, XRP, there are other coins like Avalanche and Phantom, and there's a lot going on in DeFi, also known as a group called the Dino coins. In other words, the coins from last cycle that, people like me thought were new and hot, and we couldn't understand back in 2020, and now they're considered boomer crypto. That is also moving. Now, let's talk about some meaning. What does XRP moving mean? It means the market's looking for different forms of money. It also means Wall Street is coming to the blockchain, because they're going to do so through a Ripple payment mechanism. Now, I should have thought of this, but I did like a small little thing about it last night. If XRP, the stealth reason why XRP is higher is because banks are buying it, possibly, it made sense that real world assets and ETH DeFi would take off. Like ETH DeFi is now different. Protocols like Maker, Uniswap, and Aave can actually capture all the value from DeFi on ETH versus in the past, anything that occurred on ETH, the value was captured by ETH. These days, just, taking what I've done from reading other people who really understand this, Wall Street is coming and these protocols are going to benefit. That's why Boomer DeFi, like the DeFi perp contract, Maker, Curve was moving yesterday. Wall Street is coming, right? And then that caused a shift from like the speculative assets of crypto over into real world assets and DeFi. And then as these things go, when this huge sector rotation was done and all the real world asset coins were up 20%, you have a flash crash. So everybody is chasing what's hot at the moment, and then leverage people get caught, and that's where we are. And frankly, this is typical in bull markets. Now, what should you do? Because that's what you care about. What should you do? Okay, we need a list. You need to make a list of coins that, this group's likes, especially in the base ecosystem, right? I don't think I think we're in the fourth inning or third inning of an overall mega rally in base. Then there's going to be whatever is on Coinbase. I don't think anybody needs to go beyond Coinbase. And then I think you got to take a look at lower cap memes. I mean, it's not a low cap meme anymore, but like, Ski Mask Dog. And, I have one that I look at on Solana. In other words, looking for the low cap gem on the dip seems to be the way to go. And if you get a 10 to 15% washout in something like XRP, you maybe got 1 or 2 days to grab it before it goes back up. That's my opinion. And I think it's the same thing with Bitcoin. In other words, U.S. government wants to sell $1 billion in Bitcoin. Okay, great, boys. Just, feel free to market sell that. What are you going to do? What's the dip going to be? 94, 95? Now, I said this yesterday, and I still believe it. If you get a correction in altcoins, which may be happening as I speak, because we're doing a fluid flash event, you start a countdown to a move in Bitcoin. Because if Uncle Sugar and Sovereigns are the final seller, they sell that Bitcoin and it doesn't go down, meaning over-the-counter dealers just go, yeah, man, we'll just take it. Because we know everyone's coming in. The whole world's coming in when it goes over 100. If they sell Bitcoin and it doesn't go down, then you're looking at a Bitcoin eruption. Before I get into the news and the charts, the most important thing to remember philosophically is to not get caught up in the emotion of the moment. In other words, you just rushed in, or if you've been here, your coins either moved or they didn't, and emotions are high. And there's no avoiding that. Like, don't say to yourself, well, I'm emotional, that's terrible. Or, I'm going to give in and just act on my emotions. Don't do either one. Your emotions are there. You bought something, it either went up or it didn't, or you missed something or you didn't. There's plenty of opportunity. Abundance mindset. Web3 is starting to take off. People are starting to figure this out, but they haven't figured it out yet. They're just chasing stuff. They haven't figured out why the market is actually rallying. Okay, let's welcome who's here. Banks 911, welcome. Alexandra from Switzerland. Crypto Scam, Lee, good morning. I'm doing all right. Thank you. Zepetis, Oleg, Mahet, Miklo, welcome to the show. VA Buds and OG on this stream, welcome. Huber's Ranch. Riyadh, Kamina, Shelly, Seth, hello. Encrypt, Yudi, welcome. Jav, Everflow, Manu, Michael, new names here from Montreal. Welcome to the show. We got Tracy and Thomas and Arrow. Darrow, welcome. Michael, Andrew. Why is XRP crashing right now? Dude, because you had 50 to 100x leverage. Somebody called me up yesterday and goes, dude, everybody I know is 50 to 100x leverage in XRP looking for $3, $4, $5. I'm like, whoa, right? Margin can get you in trouble. Margin and leverage is for professionals, experienced people, or for people who understand how to do risk management. You get leveraged XRP at $1.50 when it's an American-made crypto and no one has reacted to the fact that the Orange Man said that there won't be any tax on transactions in that currency. You don't wait until XRP goes to 280 to get 100x levered. And I know people did it, and they're going to get blown out. They're going to get blown out. That's what's happening right now. Most likely, I'm sure it's going to be a very fluid TA type show. Okay. Christian, hello from Puerto Rico. Cat Entertainment. Okay. David says, do you have any interesting coins according to Lux Algo? Yes, we have some Lux Algo research. We can talk about it for sure. Sarah, hello. Okay. Let's go to the news. Start with that because I'm sure the market is flying around to such a degree that, it's insane. So the longer we wait to look at the TA, okay, this, what is this, right? South Korea declares emergency martial law, accusing the opposition party of anti-state activities. What? I mean, that's something that, an extremely left-wing society might pull. I wasn't aware South Korea was in that category unless they have an emergency military situation with North Korea and don't want to say it. Either way, this can't be good. It just can't be good, right? I don't know what it means, but it's definitely weird, right? South Korean president, emergency martial law, right? I mean, the opposition controlling parliament, sympathizing with North Korea and paralyzing the government with anti-state activities. Okay, whatever you say, man. I hope they got something on that versus some sort of strange test as to how people will react to martial law. Now, Bloomberg, we're going to have more on this in a minute, but there is some very serious excess going on in U.S. capital markets. Now, of course, we're here in crypto. We're having a giant party. We don't want to hear about things like currencies and bonds and interest rates, and I talk about it anyway. But everybody over in equities is packing in, everybody bearish is getting wiped out. I mean, nobody's bearish in crypto, but, bears elsewhere are just getting destroyed. Now, a lot of times when you have that kind of, people are giving up, right? Everybody on the bearish side gives up and everybody on the bullish side piles in at 100x leverage. That's when you get these flash events, right? Bull markets. I mean, this happens all the time in stocks where, 1 minute you'll be sitting around, everything's fine. And then I have a story about a guy a hedge fund guy who used to always put in what are called throwaway bids. In other words, he would leave bids below the market in the event of some sort of dramatic decline. So this guy, he had his throwaway bids in whatever stocks he owned. He went to sleep London time. There was a literal 10 or 15% flash crash in S&P, which, that never happens in S&P. That's huge. That would be like crypto doing 40% in one day. So the market went down, his orders got filled, and then the market went straight back up. And literally he woke up and his P&L, he said it was like Christmas, right? He had made all his money while he was sleeping because the market went straight down and came straight back. That may happen in crypto, except people may buy the first draft and be surprised, or they may have just FOMO'd in long and, they're going to take 20% heat. Everybody's like, yeah, I love crypto because of the gains. Well, you're going to have to deal with some of the risks as well. Flash crashes leverage blowouts. We had one before Thanksgiving. Everybody got bearish, assumed that they would be able to buy the market lower. I adamantly disagreed with that. And then you had you basically had a week of up only. So when bears get purged and bulls get arrogant, this is what can happen, just so you know. There's definitely a way to deal with it. I mean, there's the fundamental and technical case in some of these coins is so compelling. There's always something to do. Okay, U.S. interest rate cut in December rises to a 75% probability. Okay, there is a Fed meeting coming up. All right, December 17th and 18th. People are buying food for Christmas presents. People are not in good shape. I also think that even if that's not true, that I'm sure they probably don't want to feed the everything bubble, but rates are too high, and if they don't cut rates, they're fired. This will probably be the most political rate move ever, because if they don't do it, they're definitely fired. They may be fired anyway, but if they don't do it, they're definitely out. Okay, Uncle Sugar selling Bitcoin is a huge strategic mistake. There is no price where it makes sense for the U.S. to sell any Bitcoin it has under control, says somebody from the Space Force. Okay, so, I think if you looked at the election, the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., where everyone works for the government, I think the orange man only got 6% of the vote. 95% of the vote in that area went to the other candidate, because government workers are in trouble, right? Now, rebellion on the part of the U.S. government, for whatever reason, can occur on the way out the door. Dampening everyone's spirits in Bitcoin could be something that they're doing. It's actually more likely that whatever's going on in crypto and Bitcoin is getting embarrassing. That's idea number 2. Then there's idea number 3, which I have not discussed, which is who benefits most from dips? Or said differently, who needs dips? Ready? BlackRock, right? In other words, if BlackRock is like, oh my God, this is about to get away from us, or oh my God, we have big players that need to buy, they engineer a dip. The last dip over Thanksgiving was engineered, in my opinion. They're engineering a dip with some, the government's going to sell. Because, if you don't think the BlackRock and the government can work together, well, you need to think again, right? BlackRock has the Bitcoin ETF. That doesn't make BlackRock, an altruistic organization. So if you get a dip, it could be an engineered dip because people need to buy, right? Why was the market suppressed for 8 months? People who just got here don't remember the abject misery from March to the day before the election. Is an engineered suppression of the market so that either bigger players could buy or Bitcoin wouldn't rally in the face of whatever candidate was running for office. So, people get too long. Everyone gets over their skis. Big players see this. Boom, they hit the market. They engineer a dip so they can pile in before this thing goes full on volcano. Now, Financial Times, a reputable, intelligent newspaper for the most part. The mother of all bubbles, the U.S. has never been so overhyped relative to the rest of the world. Okay. Things are actually pretty down in the mouth in Europe. They have governments with strange policies about what you can write on social media, and they've been cutting rates because inflation has collapsed and they've been in a recession probably for 6 months. Okay. Michael Saylor's bull post of the day. At 95K per Bitcoin, $936 million for the week, or $134 million a day. Okay. Treasury operations delivered a Bitcoin yield of 2.55%. So basically, they're showing off how they're using Bitcoin to effectively create earnings for MicroStrategy. Again, another guy who is laughing about dips, right? Margin babies, as they call them in equities, get over their skis. big players like this put in one sell order, break the market, and then turn around and buy everything, right? And especially if they don't get gratification, like, the last dip was like, 3 days, and everyone freaked out. This dip may be 1 day, but they may do it nasty. They may have learned their lesson from Thanksgiving, and they just knock it all down in 1 day to try to get every stop loss they can, and maybe it's a 1 to 2 day phenomenon at best. Okay, so fear, greed, we're still at extreme greed, but it's only at 76%. I mean, I just compare this to 92% when it was Bitcoin and memes flying following Thanksgiving. So in other words, XRP went up and the rest of the market went down, and fear, greed dropped. Like, as soon as the market goes down, everybody goes, that's how you know your early stage bull market, right? When the market goes down and everybody goes, oh my God, thank God, I'm doubling up my position. That's when you got to watch out. We are not there yet, right? We are absolutely not there yet. I mean, you get half the market down for half a day and everyone gets negative. And now I don't even know, we'll look into the market where it is right now. But if you do a margin baby purge, everyone's going to be like, the sentiment resets itself to the 70s, right? Bullish sentiment, I think this is like a 70 to 90 range, right? Low 70s, enter. 90s, 80s, high 80s, exit. That's it. Because again, they reset sentiment lower. Okay. U.S. government has used on the American people. Okay. Social Security Act. Buckle up for a wild ride. U.S. government selling Bitcoin. Strategic mistake. We covered that. Ethereum, fear, greed. So Ethereum is at 71. Ironically, people are bullish Ethereum and it's really not moving. Okay, just a brief word on things like Social Security, freedom, government spending. Why are we here? Well, I'll give it to you in very simple terms. You work, and then somebody gives you a currency that does nothing but go down. So you work, you make someone else wealthy, right? They give you enough for you to be satisfied or barely get by. And they give you a currency that doesn't work. So if this market goes down and everyone starts freaking out, you got to remember why you're here, right? Because whatever's going on out there is bunk and people are over it. And there's a lot of smart people, a lot of influence, a lot of guys. There's a guy that declared, he issued the cryptocurrency Declaration of Independence in 2018. Okay. That thinking is now consensus today. So when it goes down, why are you here? A key thing to remember. Okay, SEC's top crypto cop now head agency's litigation. Former crypto unit chief is now agency's chief counsel, leading its lawsuits and legal probes in the U.S. This is why they want to move it to the CFTC, right? I guess the good news is they have a crypto person in charge of litigation, but he is in charge of litigation. And what do litigators do? They litigate. Should be litigate on, all these people, on the Solana chain that are doing things to promote coins that would attract the attention of law enforcement. That's what they should be doing, right? Australia's biggest bank to charge customers for cash. Commonwealth Bank has decided that your money isn't good enough unless you pay them for it. They're hitting you with a $3 fee for the privilege of getting your hands on your own cash. They say it's the enhanced banking system services, but let's call it what it really is: a move towards a world where people can't use cash. You always want to be mindful in an environment like this where it's a giant party. As I always say, why are you here? I know you're here because it's a giant party and there's a lot of money to be made. I get it. But the why are you here part sustains you when you have volatility, because let me tell you something, folks, you will have volatility. Just because you know somebody at the local bar that made $5,000 trading XRP on leverage doesn't mean this is going to be easy. It doesn't. Now, the fact that it's not easy is good, because that means the returns on the upside could be enormous, right? So not easy is good. Okay, Hedera has got a revolutionary privacy layer, which could also be used by XRP. They enable anybody to run a private version of the Hedera network. Again, these made in America cryptos originally mentioned by the Orange Man, like whatever announcements, whatever developer activity, whatever they have, they got to start making every announcement that they can. They're gonna get the bullish catalyst, and they're gonna crank that up so high. I don't know what stops those cryptos. I mean, I know XRP got everybody's attention, but I still think Algorand and Hedera are below radar for normies. I don't think the Cardano trade is over, and no one has figured out yet that Avalanche is headquartered in Brooklyn, New York. Arbitrum becomes the first layer 2 blockchain to reach 20 billion in total value locked. Wow, Heidi ho. Right? ETH, DeFi, and these layer 2s. Man, I got a colleague that was talking about layer 2s during the down market. I'm like, oh my God, please stop talking about layer 2s. Hello. Right? Everybody's coming in to do DeFi on ETH layer 2s. Arbitrum leading the way. Actually, an analyst used to work for me that works over there. Good for them. Right? And again, this is the flippening thing. If Arbitrum is at 20, base can go from 12 to 20, and they can flip each other. And who knows, optimism may also catch up in there as well. Right? So you got 3 networks here that can move. You've also got DEXs on base. You got Arrow, Velo, and Alien Base. I mean, there's no reason to get off these trades. If anything, if they hit the market, there's every reason to come in. Michael Saylor's 3-minute presentation to Microsoft was not really a presentation for Microsoft, but it was a presentation for every country on earth. And I hope I get an orange tie for Christmas. Let me just tell you something. If you think this guy is ever going to stop bull posting it, presenting, public speaking, I mean, he's a one-man influencer. There really is no crypto influencer that holds the weight that BitBoy held last cycle. I mean, maybe this guy that BitBoy is fighting, Ansem, and of course there's Brian, right? But in terms of people who can get massive amounts of attention and move markets by talking about one thing in particular, it's this guy. And he's never going to stop. And of course, I would love to see the day. I mean, I would love to be the guy where, somebody gets up and essentially tells people, why are we here? He's never going to stop. And 95K Bitcoin is a joke. And if the government's selling it, supposedly, he's got to be the one buying it, along with BlackRock, right? It's an engineered dip. It's probably not engineered for him, but it's definitely engineered for BlackRock. Okay, so Pump.Fun hit an all-time high of 93 million in November. That's a lot, okay? I have a Pump.Fun coin that came out that I like. So I can't indiscriminately say negative things about Pump.Fun anymore. So I was like, wow, look at this opportunity. But, if you have excess in the market and you have dramatic FOMO, that can cause corrections. It can cause corrections in Solana. XRP flipped Solana, but frankly, Solana may wind up coming back. But you could have a correction to 200. You can have a correction, right? And a correction isn't a bad thing. So speaking of a correction, this is Ski Mask Dog, right? So this was at 20 million, which was that's kind of like a resting point. Like a meme coin that has promise or has a community can get to 20 million. And then of course it turns around and goes to 100 million, right? And then 100 million is a pretty big barrier, right? I mean, you're going to need a positive market and positive catalysts to get through 100 million. So Ski goes to 100 million and then it comes off, right? Now, again, with meme coins, right? And again, I'm just testing this. I think I may have let the secret out. So, because I've seen, 50% retracements. You're always looking in meme coins for like either 40 or 70% retracements, right? Like this retracement in Ski Dog was 72%. So normally when you have a meme coin, it'll go parabolic after a 70% drop, right? I've seen that multiple times. The smaller drops in meme coins can be about 40%. So that's just under where Ski Mask Dog is right now. So I call it 40, 40, 40, 70. Is this in a book? No. Is this back tested by a computer? No. It's just what I've noticed, right? If you get a parabolic rise in meme coins, it's because they wash everyone out first over a period of days in many cases, and then boom. Then they may restart the 40% correction phase. And I have seen 50% corrections, like 50, 55 lately. That's what GOAT did, right? So let's look at GOAT, just looking at the meme coin universe, and then we can go to Power. We can check we're going to have to check the market. Then we're going to have to go back to PowerPoint, right? Okay, so I'm closely watching this AI narrative, right? This is the 50% correction in GOAT. So there's 40 and 50 and 70. I know it's not entirely scientific, but it is meme coin. So you're going to have to figure things out on the fly. That has happened before. Okay, let's just look at the market. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, so Bitcoin down 1%. This is not the end of the world. I mean, you have literally the last 3 days you've had to go to weekly charts to find levels that matter. So, just looking at Bitcoin, everyone's asking me like, what's Luxalgo got? I mean, they're selling this right into support near 93. So I have no idea why Bitcoin at 93 would not be appealing. Okay, XRP. Okay, this is a 4-hour chart of XRP. Now, what's really interesting about the 4-hour chart, because I put it in the deck, and it'll load here. So Luxalgo's like, okay, watch out, because it's a momentum system. There have been a lot of sell signals in XRP that XRP has ignored. So it sounds like there's time for a pause in XRP, but there was no Elliott wave top signal here. So, that could mean that whatever dip you get here could only last a day, and they're hitting another American-made crypto avalanche, which is frankly only at 50. So watch out. And again, there's, it is at resistance at 50, but there are no other ugly topping signals that I'm seeing. Like these topping signals got ignored. So, let them hit it today. Let them hit it. It's okay. I mean, it's not okay if you bought yesterday, but it's okay. It's okay because even if you bought yesterday and you have to adjust your position because you FOMO'd, I mean, you are going to have to be adjusting positions, people. Active portfolio management will be required to make money in this system. Even Brian said, this thing moves really fast. This thing moves fast. Okay. All right. Helping you as best I can. All right. We are probably headed for some sort of event because, gold broke out on a weekly basis and it's holding just fine on the top of this very bullish formation called an accumulation cone that it broke out from back in the summer. So gold is getting ready to go higher. So there's all this talk about Bitcoin flipping gold in terms of market cap. Okay. Normally when something is flipped or gets talk about getting flipped, it goes up. Silver, same thing. Everyone is sleeping on this because the dollar had gone higher. Okay. Dollar going higher is probably this made in America mania. Also, there could be a problem with the euro. You never know. Okay. Whatever's going on here, this looks like silver is about to skyrocket. So if crypto takes a break, it could be because people people just like rotate in the macro world into metals. because I don't see any reason for this not to go up a lot. Okay, so the everything bubble, short sellers throwing the towel, Bloomberg, the mother of all bubbles, why American economy is soaring ahead of its rivals. You have to be careful about hyperbole. Hyperbole in the media creates corrections. That's all. Sometimes it can create tops, but a lot of times it can create flash events where everyone goes, oh my God, it's a bubble. What? It's a bubble? I just got here. Wait, it can't be a bubble. Then all the 50 and 100x levered people get blown out. That's healthy. You know, if everyone's 50 and 100x levered and making money on an ongoing basis, you do have a bubble. And when that reverses, it's a major problem. So blowing people out along the way is completely healthy. Now, just in case you think you have to be long meme coins, and I have said this for a while, that the rest of the market was going to start trading like a meme coin, or you were going to have a massive revaluation of Web3. This is Maker. This is your dad's crypto from 2020. Okay. It's a DeFi protocol. It's a bank, basically. And this thing broke out after the election, you know, did the grind higher and is now accelerating to nothing more than equilibrium on Luxalgo. So it's entering a balance zone, whereas everything else is pushing, you know, premium resistance zones up top on daily and weekly charts. But Maker, back to balance. How much higher can this go? A lot higher. Maker, Aave, Uniswap, Chainlink. We're going to connect and build a whole new world. Look at this. This is why you don't give up on your coins. People were holding Raris, same thing, right? Now, it's really easy for me to say this, but of course, it's really annoying to be sitting there with your crypto portfolio and you're super excited, but your coin doesn't move. Then all of a sudden you give up and then your coin moves, right? So everyone's afraid of a token unlock in Ondo. You know, you could be afraid of a token unlock in Ondo at $2, right? But everyone was afraid at 80 cents and no one would touch it. And of course, it goes to $1.80 because everybody who's afraid all of a sudden became unafraid. I mean, there are token unlocks in Solana for venture capitalists too, which could have been why hedge funds are rotating from Solana into XRP. And of course, everyone rotates from Solana to XRP. And then what happens? XRP goes down, right? Everyone does the late rotation. Everybody gets frustrated with whatever they own, FOMOs into XRP, and it turns out to be a tactical top. It's not easy. But in this case, this chart shows that when you break out of one of these Lux Algo formations, it can be accumulation cone, it can be expanding triangle, which is what this is. You know, when you break out of these things, it just goes. Now, let's talk about DeMark. This is not labeled properly. This is 3,600, sorry. Okay. So that's a resistance level in ETH. And if ETH is not above that, then, you know, you can rotate to 3,400. It's not clear what this is. It's probably just a sideways consolidation. Okay. So XRP on a daily chart, you have resistance at 286. You have a DeMark topping signal yesterday. You could have 2 more up days. You don't know if this is a pause that refreshes, but you probably will get at least 48 to 72 hours of XRP chilling out for you to make decisions. That's a guess, right? Because if XRP is below 286, you have time to make decisions. If XRP is above 286, okay, well, then the market's making some kind of statement. Now, as we discussed, XRP on a 4-hour chart, all these topping signals, XRP ignored them. That's a sign of a fundamental shift, meaning somebody's buying XRP outside the norm, right? There's a lot of resistance at 280, $3, obvious reasons. You know, if people back off numbers like $3, this is the positive side. In other words, if everybody is bailing in XRP because they're afraid of $3, just like they're bailing in Bitcoin because they're afraid of 100, really, those numbers don't mean anything. I mean, yeah, they're psychological. Chart guys will tell you, I'm a chart guy. They matter. They matter the first time up. The second, third, or fourth time up, they don't matter. And when they don't matter anymore, no one cares. People are like, well, this is a matter of market cap. XRP should be trading at 200 billion, and Bitcoin should be at 120K. Because I mean, think about it. Why would Michael Saylor go bull post to Microsoft if he thought the Bitcoin was going to stop at 100K? Come on, right? It's like you have to decipher what is the nature of price action, and real world assets may not stop. This is Clearpool. I think this is on Coinbase, right? Your classic ultra bullish accumulation cone. This thing could just go. A lot of the real world asset coins were up double digits before this happened. Rari, huge spike, right? The lesson, it probably isn't to FOMO into an NFT coin up 50%, but you had to sit here and look at it, and your coin didn't move and unwind the whole summer until just one day you woke up and it just happened, right? Curve. We looked at this yesterday. Okay, this is ETH DeFi. Again, very boring stuff, or so most people think, right? Until it goes up 50% in one day, or it goes up 50% multiple times in a 3-day period, right? Okay, let's see who else is here. Okay, so yeah, Riyadh says NFTs is the last stop where all the money pours in. Good morning from Romania. Good morning, sir. Can we look at True Finance? Yeah, man. Matter of fact, I'm super interested to see where True Finance is this morning, given that we have this super bid in. Of course, man. Look at this thing. Oh my God. All right. So, so this is classic, right? You have the Lux Algo accumulation cone, right? You break out through the top. Lux Algo inserts support underneath. Then you get, when I focus in, and this is a new thing and is typical in bull markets, in that you get the breakout and the return move on the same day. So you get a huge FOMO spike. Then if you go to, say, a tactical chart, right? Okay, so on a tactical chart, True got to resistance and then comes off, right? But there's no sign of FOMO here. Not on this chart. This looks like a clean breakout. So this coin had done nothing, and now it's doing something. And it's a bank. It's a lender. All the lenders are just absolutely smoking to the upside. Like, I mean, look at Dusk. This is a layer 1 protocol in real world assets, right? So it's private. Like, you can transact privately. And I don't understand why no one understands how much this can go up. I've been talking about this, screaming about this in our portfolios. It's like, I'm like, yo, Lux Algo came in with the strongest buy signal possible for momentum purposes last week. And everyone's like, yeah, I don't have to do it. Or, yeah, it's boring. I mean, this thing could go from 31 cents to 78 cents to get to the top of the accumulation cone. And just in case you think these accumulation cones, are a joke, so many charts, so little time. I'm going to go to total 3. Okay. So here it is. Total 3 weekly. What's total 3? Total 3 is total crypto market cap without Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that means Solana, XRP, Cardano, Algorand, Hedera, the whole mix. Total crypto market cap on a weekly basis is now reached its 2021 high. Keep in mind, the 2021 high in Bitcoin was like 69K. That's long gone. Now, total crypto market cap for altcoins has obviously gone straight up. Nothing goes straight up forever. That said, if there was ever a breakout, right? If total altcoin market cap broke out, and it's real easy to see how that would happen, right? You can have RWA and AI catching up. You can have Algo and Hedera just continue. You can have Avalanche and Phantom catch up. You can have another leg higher in XRP. Everyone's forgotten about Solana. No one's talking about ETH. ETH is not included in his calculation. But if you start to have explosive moves, right, across Web3, like this is the Web3 chart, which everyone thinks is a joke, right? It's not a joke. This is happening, right? And everybody's like, oh my God, it went down. Yeah, okay, it went down. Like this is DeFi perp on a weekly basis. Okay, so this is an obscure perpetual on Binance that I track for somebody who watches the show. So this is like literally your boomer DeFi. It's like Band Protocol, Maker, Uniswap, like Chainlink may be the flashy coin in this group. This thing hasn't even gotten to the top of its accumulation cone. Like ETH DeFi is like 62% away from equilibrium. How much can this go up? Like a lot. And, I have a colleague, Toby Ward, who says, when the market goes down, shop, right? Anyone else seeing the Ripple YouTube channel getting hacked? God. No, I have not seen that. That sounds like Uncle Sugar. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they got to try to slow this down because, for the current people, it's going to get embarrassing. Either that or the Fed's worried about it. I don't blame them. Like if I was at the Fed and I was watching this, I would be like, wow, our currency is being devalued versus a digital cowboy circus. Somebody put the brakes on it. They don't care about currency trends. They just want it to be orderly, right? In other words, big currency moves are okay. They've happened before, but they don't want it to get out of hand. So when the government is all of a sudden coming in and interested in selling Bitcoin, that's because they want to slow it down. It's not unreasonable. Okay, someone asking about Polkadot. I mean, this is like, a gigantic network of blockchains, huge throughput, zero transaction costs. Polkadot was meant to be like, I don't know, like a science fiction version of Ethereum where you could just connect everything and spread out everywhere. So it's the highest rated technology score at the time when I worked at another place that specialized in analyzing the tech of blockchain projects. 320% move, currently trades at 9.5. Equilibrium on a weekly chart is at 28. And you know what? No one's interested. No one thinks this is going up because no one believes in Web3. And I'm sure it's frustrating for people watching everything else go up 40% and Polkadot's not moving. But meanwhile, on a daily chart, every time Polkadot goes up, Lux Algo inserts support underneath it. So it's like, rising floor, rising floor. One day you're going to wake up and this is going to move the way everything else moved, like in dramatic fashion. It's that simple. And you want to be shopping on down trades, like aggressively. Okay, Degen. I know there's a lot of people waiting on Degen, and, who knows, normies may have more choices on meme coins. However, I have heard things like Degen is being spun as like possibly an AI narrative coin for normies on Coinbase. And when it comes to Degen, I like to talk about reflexivity, right? In other words, a rally could beget a rally. Anything moving on Coinbase is going to attract attention. In other words, who's winning in this market? Not a bunch of people looking at charts going, well, the 9-day RSI is at 75. I mean, yeah, obviously I'm a chart guy. So for entertainment purposes, I'm sort of making fun of, people like me. But you have to remember, the people who are winning here are the people who are just coming in and going, oh, look, is this American made? Does this have a story? The equities mentality. I mean, to me, this is some sort of version of the bigger the base, the higher in the space. I mean, this winter down here, is unbelievable. I mean, people don't realize this happened in March. Like when the rally was happening in like the early part of this year, it started in October. And prior to that, we, as in people in crypto, lived through, I don't know, it was like a combination of winter and desert. It's like you froze and you had no water. It was like, there was like, you couldn't even talk about the market. It was so dead. You know, my father had this when he was a stockbroker in the 70s. You couldn't get somebody to buy one share of stock, not one in the 70s. Now, of course, you know, I don't know, however many years later, you know, people can't stop buying stocks. Degen, for the longest time, was like, it went all the way up, and then everybody had to pile out. I mean, do you know how painful this is? All the way up, all the way down, sit and do nothing. Like, if you live through all this pain, you got to stick around and get the reward. That's my opinion, right? In other words, you know, if you're buying this looking for 100x like this, I don't know that that happens tomorrow, right? I don't know that that's the way it's going to happen. But I don't even know if that's the way you want it to happen. Because, you know, you want gradually, then suddenly, right? I mean, and that's, you know, maybe I should have started with that. Gradually, then suddenly. If you're looking at your portfolio and going, okay, well, you know, it's gradually moving, that's okay, right? Yeah, Degen is aggravating me. Degen bores you out of it. Right. I mean, you know, analysis on virtuals protocols. So this is the daily chart of virtual coming up here. You know, I think if you go to a 4-hour chart on this, this is one of these coins where, I mean, I don't even think you can put this in a meme coin category anymore. Like, you know, you get a 38% retracement. You get some sort of fib retracement, like a traditional retracement in something like this. Yeah. I mean, you know, when coins mature and they move out of the meme coin phase and you're in a mega bull market, like, for example, everybody seems to know where the 38% retracement of the most recent, like the post-election parabolic in virtual was at $1.31, and everyone knows it. Right? Like this whole AI narrative nothing has happened, right? They're just like, you know, it went up a lot, but then they've been correcting this for a couple of days. So everyone's like, oh my God, I missed everything. No, no one has traded AI yet. No one. Like I'm doing AI small caps. Like I can't wait to get in. Like I'm tracking GOAT. I'm tracking Opus. You know, I just want to see what they do when it comes to like market cap with these things. You know, like this thing was up huge, right? And then this is Opus. So this is the AI that allegedly created the AI that created GOAT. Okay, it's got like a 66% retracement. You know, it's got a little bit of room to go to the 70% retracement, but you're asking yourself, like, what have I missed? Like nothing. Like, let's just look at, you know, what's now considered, I think, a boomer coin, like Fetch, which is the artificial super intelligence token. Bunch of places merged. What's happened in Fetch? Nothing. So can you imagine? I mean, now something has happened in Fetch in that it broke out and it's sitting on top of what used to be resistance and it's now acting as support. So you got all these narratives that have done nothing. And everyone's like, oh my God, I missed it. Or, oh my God, I bought the wrong thing. Folks, look, you're going to have like, you know, 7 or 8 coins, you know, like the Magnificent Seven. That can be one way to keep your sanity. Or you're going to have to be quick enough to move to be like, okay, you know, like XRP goes up, sell XRP, or Solana goes up, sell Solana, buy XRP. Sell XRP, move into real world assets. I mean, if you can do that, that's great, right? But the rotation trade, you know, you're going to need to hear my voice in your head about, you know, if you're doing this in a trading way, right? This has got to be, I mean, I know people who are crypto traders and they're all sitting around going, oh my God, what's happening? right? Because they're used to doing one thing, and now they have to rotate sectors like they're in equities. This is like the stock market, like on super speed, like, on 2x speed, like a YouTube video, right? Okay, so this is a reminder that if you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to the channel. Turn on alerts so you know when we're going live. And if the content works for you, make sure you hit the like button on the way out. We will see you tomorrow.